What's up, everyone? Michael Heath with Get Automating, doing the 5-minute nug. Short, sweet, bite-sized information. Today, we're going to be talking about data tables.
Get Automating, enhancing humans daily.
All right, within Power Automate Desktop, common scenario, you're dealing with Excel data, you're dealing with SQL data or web data, you're pulling that in, and most of the time, that's going to be brought in what's called a data table. This is data that's going to be in a tabular format, two-dimensional array in programming terms, contains rows and columns, and you're going to need to access those rows and columns. So today, we're going to focus on that retrieval operation. Let's check out this fresh nug. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get our data. For this particular exercise, we're going to get our data through attached to a running Excel. Cuts down on time having to launch Excel over and over, as well as closing it. So let's grab that bad boy. We'll put that right over here. And we're going to attach it to this device CSV that we have open. Now, this is just a really small table right here, but it gives us some information to work with and bring in to Power Automate Desktop. We have it pointed to our Excel document, and now we're going to read those values. So we'll drop in this action right here, and we'll want to capture all available values from the worksheet. All right, at this point in time, we have it attached to Excel. We're reading it and we're storing it in this value called ExcelData. Let's go ahead and run that real quick and see what we get back. Now we have some data. We've pointed it obviously to our Excel instance, and we've got our Excel data right here. As we can see, our variable values stored in a data table. And one thing we didn't do here is modify any of the settings. All right, so if we come back here to the Read from Excel worksheet, we notice here if we click on Advanced, we've got first line of range contains column names. That's what we want because our data does have headers. So we want to make use of those headers. Go ahead and save that out. Let's just run it again. All right, so the data has been captured. Let's go ahead and click on that one more time. We can see that our information is now formatted in a nice, neat table with headers. All right, so there's a number of different things we can do when it comes to data tables. There's a lot of actions that have been added over time, perform CRUD operations, even sort and filter and merge join tables. However, most of the operations that you're going to perform in the data table to extract useful information are going to be done in the form of an expression. And so we're going to focus on a handful of operations to make use of this data. We're going to start off by referencing information that's in this data table. To do this, we're just going to display a message to understand what data is being pulled. So for this particular exercise, we want to access the first cell of the first row. To do this, we're going to reference the ExcelData variable right here, and then we're going to reference the row and column that we want. Now, it does start at zeros in the data table, so make note of that. And then we're going to keep this message on top. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. And as you can see right here, we have the AT124, that's at 00. Let's check our information here. AT124 at 0, 0. First row, first column. Again, we are omitting the headers. All right, let's do a little something different here. So what if we want to access something by name? In this example, we want to access the device cost column in the third row, right? We're referencing the Excel document. We're referencing the row, which in this case is the third row, keeping in mind we're starting at 0, and then we're referencing the column by name. All right, so we're going to just disable this display message, and we'll run with this one right here. And we've got 1799. Check our values here. Third row, third column. We've got our value. So another common scenario is running through a list of records, retrieving values over a set of data. And for that, we're going to use our for each statement. Drop that in here. The value in which we want to iterate is going to be our Excel data. And notice it will create for each current item in Excel data as the expression. And for me, I'm going to copy and paste a message that I've already created. And so what I'm doing here is I'm accessing the current item. And for this one, it is the device name. That's what I'm referencing. In each record, I'm going to display the current item device cost, device ID, and the asset tag. So let's evaluate our outcome here. All right, so here's our first record, second record, third record, fourth record, and fifth record. And what's important to understand here, we're just using a display message and populating that message box with the information we've gathered from our table. But you can really see how valuable this is to capture this information and be able to use this in your automations to move and manipulate data throughout a solution, referencing any number of items within the data table. So there you have it, retrieval information stored inside a data table in Power Automate Desktop. Just scratching the surface for mathematical operations, additional actions, CRUD operations, the whole 9 yards. So check it out. Get out there and get automated.